Ethernet communication will allow Arduino to connect to internet. With Ethernet, Arduino can send and receive data from anywhere in the world over internet. To add Ethernet to Arduino, we need additional piece of hardware, and it is Arduino Ethernet Shield. This Ethernet Shield is based on WIZnet W51 Ethernet 5100 Ethernet chip. The WIZnet W5100 provides a network IP stack capable of both TCP and UDP protocols. So if you wonder what is this TCP and UDP is, then these are just the protocols used for sending bits of data in the form of packets. Don't bother about this for now. Let's first understand Ethernet Shield. The Ethernet Shield connects to Arduino Uno using long wire wrap header stack. The shield has onboard microSD slot. This will be used to store large files serving over internet. This microSD card that we're going to put into microSD slot will be used to keep the HTML file. So whenever you will connect your Arduino to internet and make it as a web server, you can serve this HTML file to the user. Arduino communicates to W5100 chip and microSD slot over SPI pins. The digital pin 10, 11, 12 and 13 is SPI pins on Arduino Uno. Pin number 10 is acting as a slave select for W5100 Ethernet chip. Pin number 4 will be acting as a slave select for microSD slot. So this means that we have on our Ethernet shell there are two slave select pins that we have, pin number 10 and pin number 4 for each of them. Right, so pin number 11 will be acting as a MOSI, master out slave in. Pin number 12 will be acting as a MISO, MISO. Pin number 13 will be acting as a serial clock. You can even call it as a SCK. These are the 4 pins that will be used in in a communication between your Ethernet Shield and your Arduino Uno. Make sure you will not use this pin in your project since they've been already used by Ethernet Shield, since they already have been assigned for a particular function for SPI communication. We should not use these pins, especially pin number 10, 11, 12, 13 to control LED or maybe control motor or LCD or anything. We should keep these pins isolated. We don't have to use this in our project, right? Because they've been already assigned a function. The reset button on Ethernet Shield resets both Arduino as well as Ethernet chip. The board has one RJ45 Ethernet socket to connect to internet. Now let's set up the connections. Let's learn how we can connect Arduino Uno with Ethernet Shield. So if you look at Arduino Uno, it has this male headers, right? On the both of the side, right? So what we can do is we can take this Ethernet Shield, and Ethernet Shield has a male header wire wrap. So what we can do is we can stack this Ethernet Shield on the top of Arduino Uno, and if you look at this, all the sides, you can see it can fit properly, okay? Especially this 6-pin ISP headers. You can see the 6-pin ISP header, okay, all the sides, right? And we have to press this little bit so that they can fit it properly. You can see when I press, now there is no space between the pins, right? And they can stack into one another properly, right? That's very important. Otherwise you might not able to see your Ethernet Shield working. So once you stack Ethernet Shield on the top of Arduino Uno, then next step is to power up your Arduino board, and you can take the USB from your laptop and connect to Arduino Uno. So right now, as you can see, the Arduino is powered up. Right, you can see the power LED is glowing here. That means the power, your Arduino has the power. The next step is to connect Ethernet Shield with internet, and that can be done by using this LAN cable. So I can connect one end of the LAN cable to Ethernet Shield, and other end of the LAN cable, this one, the other end. One end is to Ethernet Shield, other end is to internet router. So let me connect to internet router. And as soon as I connect to internet router, you can able to see all the LEDs are blinking except this TX and RX LED, right? I hope you can see them properly. Now the question is, when you connect everything, how can you make sure the connections are properly done? I mean, not just a physical connection, but logical connection. So the first step is to check at the Ethernet hub, right? If I can take this little bit up here, you can see there are two LEDs. I hope you can see this one is a green LED. Okay, this one is a orange LED, and you can see one LED is blinking, one LED is blinking, and this green LED is steady, right? If these LEDs are not glowing, this green and orange, that means the connections is not properly done. You have to check the other end of the LAN cable, right, to router or to computer. We are connecting to routers, so just make sure about routers. And you can see this other LEDs, I mean this power LED, link LED, then 100M full D, and collision LED. Collision is not blinking, of course, but TX or X, they are turned off by default, and they will only turn on and off when transmit and receive happens over Ethernet shell. So this is how you will going to connect your Ethernet shell to your internet router. And then you can able to write a code, and you can able to control this LED which is connected to Arduino and Ethernet shield.